Coming to our little town tonight, we have a premiere performance of the Dragonfly Dance. There's excitement in the air, the preparations are taking place. Let's take a peek behind the scenes while the dancers practice their steps and the stage is being prepared for a night of wonder and delight. Hello and a warm welcome to you all. It's Penny here from Wales in the UK. Thank you for being here with me today. The page I'm going to be working on in this video is all about the spring. It's about movement and dance and spring being in the air and dragonflies symbolising transformation and agility. I hope you liked my introduction. I wanted to have a bit of fun with this page. I really enjoyed making it. The die cuts were kind of, apart from me being really happy that spring is in the air, the die cuts that I bought recently of ballet dancers and dragonflies and other bits and pieces were my inspiration. I wanted to use them. I'm really enjoying my die cut machine now that I've figured out how to use it. And I've recently bought a mini one that sits very neatly on my desk. I absolutely love it. It's just there whenever I need it. So I'm starting the page here, as I usually do, strengthening the spine with some tea bags and gluing them down with my go-to Elmer's glue. This is my vintage French dictionary. I'm pulling out some page for my base layer of collage. I love that dictionary. I've had it for a few years now, and it's really good because the paper's nice and thin for collage, and it's got some nice pictures in as well. And of course, because I love languages, I love having books in different languages. So the book that I'm using is a fictional novel in German. And last week I used some German and Welsh and English words. And now here we are with the French. So I didn't feel really it was necessary for me to do the collage on this page, but it's all about the process and tuning into my intuition. And each layer that I put down is a step that takes me forward. So here is my big shot Sizzix machine that I didn't use for months because I was afraid of breaking it because I didn't think it was working properly. I bought this one second-hand off eBay. It was a really good buy, actually, now that I've mastered it. So I'm using some of my new die cuts here to cut out. Still have a bit of trouble with it because I didn't realise that, it was going to be so stiff and a bit bumpy. It's a bumpy ride. And of course I can't hold it because I'm trying to hold the plates down so that they don't buckle. I can't hold the actual machine steady. But it's all good. And here are the picture of the stencil, the die cuts. Very pretty die cuts. I love them. I'm starting off, I was drawn to this ultramarine blue today, well, on the day I was working on my page. It's kind of representative of, the night time, because the performance is going to be in the evening. And also, because it's a stage set, it's very sparkly and magical. So here I'm adding a little bit of the golden acrylic black ink. The blue is also a golden make. And then I spray some water on the black to move that around the page. I'm sorry if you can hear the traffic in the background. The street seems to be very busy today. I have redone this recording. I think this is my third go, but I think we're going to just have to put up with the traffic, I'm afraid. And there's somebody banging the door. So I've chosen a swirly spiral to represent movement and dancing around and swirling around the page. I'm using the Dilutions white ink spray. And now I'm cutting out a couple of spirals from this green painted page from last week's video. I thought I wanted a darker green on these pieces of book page here. So I'm using the Pt4 green, but in the end the dark colour didn't actually work. So I'm using up the paint that was left on the brush for the other piece here. And now I'm using some mica sprays. So this is a fresh balsam, which is kind of similar to a dark olive green. And then I'm using a blue one, which is called Winter Frost. Add a little bit of water to that one. They are, I don't know if you've used mica sprays, but they are quite sparkly and they are really nice. But they weren't quite sparkly enough for my page. They didn't stand out as I had hoped they would. And then I decide to use a little bit of the pink mica spray as well. This is called Bubblegum Pink. And then I leave those to dry naturally. And then now here I am using my new mini Sizzix die cut machine. So I'm cutting out some ballet dancers using the green paper, book page paper. It's a cute little thing, this machine. just perfect for sitting on your desk, on your table. You can get a pokey tool, to use with your Sizzix dies, but I haven't got one of those, so I'm just using my awl here. They come out quite easily because they've got the dies have got little holes in the back, and when you push those, the piece of paper comes quite easily away from the metal die. This is some silver acrylic ink that I'm using. I had splattered the page, and now I'm just making a few marks with the feather brush. And now I'm doing some mark making with my Posca pen, adding more movement to the page by doing curved lines and circular motions. And I took a picture, I auditioned some of the die cuts on the page. And now I'm adding some of the white gauze for texture. I really love using texture on the page. I seem to be using it more and more. It just adds something, and they're quite effective. I left this piece white. I didn't want to paint this piece. Sorry about the slamming doors there. I also added a few bits and pieces as well because I wanted a rustic look to the stage. So this is just another piece of gauze that I painted in the green. And I add, I think that's a little bit of the netting in green. And then a number, a little bit of music there. And this is a page from my book, a book page. Actually, all the die cuts are cut from a flower book that I had, and I had bought it to cut out, fussy cut the flowers, but they were just impossible to fussy cut. They kept breaking. But actually, I found that the paper is ideal to use in the die cut machine. That's a bit of lace there that I'm adding. So in the flower book as well, it's got lots of lovely script in there. So that tiny piece has got a bit of script on it, and I used the Memento ink pad that you can see there on the right, and the colour of that is called Love Letter, and it's kind of like a dark pink colour. It's I think that's a piece of cotton from my eco dyeing sessions that I've stamped some script on there. bit more netting there in black. I think it's called netting. It's like that stuff that you'd find on a tutu. Is it called a tutu? A ballet skirt? But with the paint on it, it goes quite stiff. So here I'm using a very small makeup brush, and I'm adding a little bit more of that Love Letter Memento ink, just to kind of add a bit of colour to the pieces there. I had also off camera splattered the page with red and gold and white splatters. I think. And then this is a die cut. This die cut is called fishing net. I cut it up into little pieces and I glued them around the page. I really liked the way they looked. Also on here you can see where I've glued the ballet dancers, where I used the phthalo green and the mica sprays on. I cut those out, but as you can see, they don't make a good focal point because they blend too much into the background. So I did have to change that, which I was a bit sad about because I did really like them. I wish I'd put them on the edges of the page rather than as the focal point. I've also glued on some of the foliage, the leaves there, and the spirals. I've got the green one on the top right and the blue one on the bottom left. It's a very busy page, and I wanted it to be busy because I wanted it to be full of life and movement and magic and wonder. I don't know if I've achieved that, but I do love the page. There, I've glued on the pink ballet dancers there. I just went through the flower book and chose pages with pink flowers on, and then put them through the die cut. Now here I've got this little piece of red velvet, and I really wanted to have a curtain to reveal the stage performance, but I couldn't figure out how to attach it to the page. I just didn't know how to do it, and I find the velvet very hard to cut and manipulate, so I didn't feel that I could make actual curtains out of it, and even if I had, I don't know how I would have attached them to the page. So sadly I had to give up on that idea, and then what I did is I just got a piece of white tissue paper, and I'm just stamping some of the dragonflies on there in different colours. Somebody beeping, sorry. And then I take some border stamps here to just go around the edges there. This one has got lots of circles on it. And then this one, I'm not quite sure what you'd call this pattern. It's just a border with swirls on it. So now I'm taking some more of the Memento ink pad, and this one's called Paris Dusk. I started off by just kind of putting a bit of the ink on the acetate I've got there and adding water, but I got fed up of doing that because I thought that would take a long time. So after I've done this bit, now I decide to use my makeup brush and just go, spread it around the page. And now I'm using a wet paintbrush just to go over it. And I didn't think about it, but of course when I dried this, as I dried it with my heat gun, I think, of course it all went crinkly. But that was kind of, there it is, it's all crinkly now, I've dried it. That was actually quite not a happy accident, I don't think you could call it a happy accident, but it had the effect of being more like curtain-like. At least I felt it did. And I went around the edges with a darker blue. It's called chipped sapphire, that's it. And that one, the chipped sapphire is a distress ink pad. Then I use my stencil and I just put Dragonfly Dance, a few of the Dragonfly words and dance words on the tissue. And here I've got some letter die cuts as well, so I cut those out with my mini Sizzix and placed those on the tissue and stuck them down. Now I'm just gluing the tissue to the page, so I'm putting my curtain up. Of course it didn't lay flat. I tore a little bit at the top there, thinking that would be okay, but it wasn't, and it was more likely to tear if I'd have left it as it was. So what I do next is I just I cut it down the middle. And then it'll lie flat. This curtain took me ages to do. It took me longer than the actual page. So now I'm adding washi tape to the bottom to kind of give it a bit of weight, and also I wanted it to have, a tab on it so that I could lift the curtain up. So I put, the first piece I put on there is just a striped green and pink washi tape. And then of course the curtain is too short then, because of course I've pulled it up the top to fold it over the page. So then I've got this really pretty stamp washi tape. And I decided to use that as well. And then I added a tab to each of the segments of the curtain. So now I have something I can hold on to lift the curtain up. Not quite as effective as I hoped it would be, but I still wanted the element of, I don't know what the word is now, not the element of surprise, or just kind of being able to lift the curtain to the performance. And unfortunate, there we go. So now I'm adding a little bit of, I'm using the black Posca pen to add you know, Dragonfly Dance on the page so that it stands out. But you can't really see the Dragonfly Dance that I've, you know, where I've stuck the die cuts on, but I'll go back to that. What I'm doing here is I've got this finishing wax. I'd used an awful lot of glue on the page, so the curtains were sticking to the page. So I spread a little bit of the finishing wax over the page, and that stops, you know, that kind of gives it a barrier so that it doesn't stick to the page. So I've been talking too much now. So I did cut out the letters again, trying to get more of the pink from the book pages. So I added those on the top. And then these are pictures of the various dancers on the stage. So we're all set for the premiere performance of the evening. Thank you for watching, everyone. To all my viewers and all my subscribers, thank you so much for being here today. I hope you've enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed creating this page. It was great fun. Sorry about the muddles at the end of the video there. I was getting a bit tired having recorded it for the third time. But I've had a break, I've had a cup of coffee, and I've just come back to say cheerio, and also to say keep a lookout for a separate video that'll be up in a couple of days or so. I've decided what I'm going to do for my 500 subscriber giveaway, so make sure that you keep a lookout for that one. So thank you everyone for all the likes, all the shares and the lovely comments that you leave me. I really do appreciate you all, and of course a special thank you to all my subscribers for supporting my channel. So I will see you very soon. Take care of yourselves and lots of love to you. Bye for now. Cheerio.